For time immemorial, maize has been the raw material for Zambia's staple food, nshima. Sadly, in the recent past, the country recorded shortages of mealie meal, causing the hike in the prices of mealie meal. To curb further shortages, especially through smuggling of the product, the government put up measures stopping illegal exporting of the staple food. But something has become clear. The dependence of nshima needs to be addressed. Can Zambians afford to diversify from nshima to other kinds of food?
I feel, for example, maize being a staple food, there is need for the government to do everything possible just to make sure that everything is normalized. The mealie meal shortage situation is kept.
I think nshima in Zambia is our staple food. So diversifying is not a problem to those people who can afford. They can do without nshima. They can have rice, whatever they can have, but it's not a problem to those who can manage.
Food diversification, I feel, to lessen the pressure on the maize grain, there is need to diversify, to look to other sources of carbohydrate, like rice and all that, sorghum.
University of Zambia agriculture economist Dr. Chewenkonde feels that the recent shortage of maize is a wake-up call to consider diversifying the country's nutrition. He explained that having one crop comes with many risks, such as high prices that comes as a result of high demand on the market.
This situation that we are currently in as a country is a clarion call for us to think beyond the rhetoric that we have as a country and consider to go for other foods and other sources of carbohydrates, which would definitely help to alleviate the pressure that is right now on maize meal. I think it definitely reminds us to think about going beyond and considering other sources of carbohydrates or starch, which we need for our diets as Zambians. There are a lot of risks that are associated with only going for one crop. First of all, there are price risks. Diversity helps us to mitigate those risks that come with prices maybe spiking up. So at least if you've got other alternatives, people can have access to other foods. And so that's one of the reasons why diversity is very, very important.
And other stakeholders in the field of food and nutrition say that food diversification should not be considered as an alternative, but as a must. Civil Society on Scaling Up Nutrition, Alliance Country Coordinator Daniel Kalala says that there is need for government policies to be revised.
Now, when it comes to affordability, it's really a question: how expensive are the diversified system? For example, with climate change, we've been encouraging farmers to say grow drought-tolerant crops. Could millet be more expensive than maize? Can cassava be more expensive than maize? So basically, I think we really need to be careful when someone says diversifying food is expensive, because that is our traditional setup already. Because when we were young, our field never consisted of maize only. It was a diversified field. So we need to revisit the diversified system. Actually, on the opposite, it's actually probably cheaper than relying on one crop.
Sylvia Banda is an entrepreneur who has been in the food and nutrition field for over 2 decades. She explains that lack of knowledge on the nutritional values of other traditional foods is the reason why most people think diversification cannot be possible to average Zambians. Mrs. Banda also added that there is need to educating local farmers on the importance of crop diversification.
When there is the absence of nshima on the table, we always feel that there is hunger in a home or in a location or in the nation. Nshima is one of the carbohydrates that Zambia has, and we have a lot of products where we can get the carbs from. I can give an example of sweet potatoes. You can eat sweet potatoes and you survive. Actually, you feel full. When someone eats this one and the other person eats nshima, they'll still get the same results of the carbs. because we eat in order to get full and also to get the nutrients from the food that we are eating. With the variety of this, I don't see the reason why should people be demanding on just having shima on the table. I buy about 3 bags of mealie meal in a year. And even those 3 bags, we don't even finish because, there is rice, there are potatoes, the same cowpeas I'm talking about, all those things. All we needed to do as a nation is to add value to these other products which I'm talking about so that we can diversify.
For these stakeholders, food diversification will help lead to increased food production and achieve major nutritional improvements. Mindset change in this regard remains paramount.
Millet gives you about 395 kilocalories. You can get that from sorghum, 384. You see that in terms of the energy you can derive from maize, you can actually get that from these other food sources. Millet, sorghum, we know that a diversified farm means a balanced nutrition to some extent. We need to educate people. There should be that mindset change.
We should start thinking about how can I contribute to helping with diversification? Basically change my eating habits, and how do I embrace issues, other foods that could exist. I know other people will say, well, that's an elitist view. Zambians always love nshima, so let's still support nshima. But I don't think that's true. I think even in the rural areas, people, if they're given a choice to look at other alternatives, I think they can go in that direction of eating other foods.
According to research, a diverse diet is most likely to meet both known and yet unknown needs for human health. But is it truly possible for Zambians to live without nshima? Monica Mtonga reporting for Kwacha Good Morning Zambia.